This is it. It's our little private
cool is
cinema.
that room?
I know.
Here we go.
Gosh. So you've watched this before. I've not watched this.
I've seen it a few times because of the VO. I had to speak over some of the parts of it.
Well,
it's terrible.
Is it? Good. I was about to say I don't know what to expect, but thank you for putting me out of my misery.
In particularly, you've been very weak.
Yeah, do you know what? I've told you this before. My mum keeps me humbled all the time. So I've got a thick skin, Sam. I can take it.
No, I think you're going to really enjoy it.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
This is it. I founded my company because I believe that food can be better. And as we've grown, I've become even more convinced of this idea. I'm also convinced that I'm not alone. That's why I'm setting out to find like-minded growers, innovators, and producers from around the world who are embracing change with the view of bringing our shared knowledge to the world. People are sick of bad-tasting food that destroys our health and destroys the earth. We've all seen the amazing documentaries that show us the problem, but I want to meet the folks that are providing the solutions. Shall we?
Shall we? We shall.
Let's
yes,
go.
Please join me.
I know I am not alone, so I asked my good friend Christelle, a baker and a chef who you may have seen on the Great British Baking Show, and an all-round great person to join me on my journey in figuring out the alternative route for us all. Thanks.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm really excited to meet thought leaders and people who are doing incredible advanced things, which we've probably never seen before. And I think what's so interesting is, you know, nowadays food is mass produced and there's so many things that are done in such a mainstream fashion that isn't great for the environment. So I'm really excited to see these incredible, innovative people who are going out of their way to basically save the planet. It's going to be fascinating, and I think the people we're going to meet are going to be very smart. I'm going to feel very dumb, but I'm really excited to learn and just learn a lot more about a field that I don't know enough about. So yeah, can't wait.
Welcome to the alternative route. Yeah, so last year was the result of a 4-year concoction of learning and experience about sustainability and life and health, both physical and mental health. And we made a TV show which took us to various different parts of the world. We got to speak to friends, old and new, and we had a lot of fun on the way. The project started out as a effort to try and educate people in a non-confrontational way. We didn't want to fearmonger anybody. We wanted people to learn. Yeah, I think I'm happy to say that we managed to achieve that. Episode 1, Alternative Power. Our history with animals has been incredibly circular. Used in farming for centuries, initially as tools and then ultimately as food. The abundance and convenience that has been demanded by consumers as a result of changing diets, more conscious thought about health, and changing tastes has led us to a serious problem. Pollution, climate change, animal cruelty, and poor health have all been factors of mass farming. Our obsession with protein and our limited education on where that protein can come from is damaging the planet. Meat and 2 veg is an old construct that is no longer true of our diet needs on a daily basis. The alternatives also get a bad rap, sometimes being judged for poor taste and texture, but there has to be a solution out there. I've been fascinated by the work and ecosystem of fungi. Technically the largest living organism in the world. I've been researching mycelium for a few years, and I've become more and more interested in where this fungi and industry is going. I believe it could be a valid alternative route. Every morning, like many others, I use caffeine in the form of coffee to jumpstart my brain and body as a routine and method to start the day. The coffee industry has changed multiple times, based on consumer demand and getting more and more sustainable as time passes. In Lackawanna, in Jersey City, there's lots of sustainable options. Why can't the same not be true for meat? Meet Dan, a friend and colleague of our team in Strong Roots.
Hey!
G'day, mate.
How are you, man?
See you, bro.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Remember some coffee?
Let's get in here.
Let's do it.
Dan is a chef, a content producer, a fitness guru, and a food entrepreneur. He's cooked for some really famous folks around the world, and he happens to be a ripper bloke. Dan has been concentrating on food, and in particular mushrooms, as an alternative protein source for many years. The complex makeup of mushrooms mean they're an incredibly versatile ingredient and contain huge amounts of nutrition. I've always found that people have a love-hate relationship with mushrooms, but there's nothing to hate about the business of mycelium, which Dan knows a lot about.
Why focus a product based around mushrooms that has such polarity?
Our product is in a ground form. They're dehydrated mushrooms that are so rich in umami as a savoury note that if you like mushrooms, we're going to highlight the mushroom. We're going to say how cool it is, how sexy it is, how good it is for you.
Yeah.
If you don't like mushrooms, we're just going to rely on the taste. And so people who don't like mushrooms or taste our product don't know it's got mushrooms in it. But people who like mushrooms, they're like, oh, the mushrooms are epic. So I think it's not like we're trying to trick people or anything. It's just at the end of the day, the product tastes awesome.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter.
We've been doing so much development with mycelium because of its huge lack of carbon and completely regenerative and incredible positive qualities all around that it's, one of those kind of future mass accepted superfoods that people don't even know about.
It has the ability to really catapult this space of taking beyond the word plant-based and being a fully complete style protein that has the ability to actually have an impact, a circular impact on our lives.
Mycelium is the root system of a fungi. It can spread sometimes for 30 miles underground, like in Yellowstone National Park. And essentially it's the protein and the communication system of fungi or mushrooms.
I have a question. Is it fungi or fungi?
Either.
Oh, okay. Because then when you were saying fungi, I was thinking, I definitely said fungi, now I'm really embarrassed. Okay.
When I was doing the VO, I went on a rabbit hole about it, and you can say both,
Fine.
but all the pros say fungi, so I was going that route.
Fine, okay.
It's easy to love this guy. It seems like it should be just as easy to get on board with alternative protein. So why is it so polarizing? If we can supply better food to our education and hospital systems, what's holding us back? We're farming animals like we're making cars. Conveyor belts and heavily mechanized, close proximity factories that breed disease and create massive amounts of carbon-producing process from grain and from the waste. On this journey, one of the recurring themes is going to be looking back to go forward, using the methods of our ancestors and older generations to progress and cause no more harm. The answers are all around us. We just need to know where to look and remain curious. In my business, the most important thing is taste. Everyone loves great tasting food, but the flavors that make up that experience don't have to come from the same places all the time. There are many ways to trick our taste buds and minds to get the same joy from food. Some of those ways can be more sustainable. If we don't change our ways, I'm worried about what we, the most informed generations ever on the planet, will leave behind for our children. Some people think it's already too late and not worth trying to help. I don't have that choice. There are too many important things worth making the effort for.
Practicing what you preach is a big thing. Some of the folks in Strong Roots, for example, are living their change way more than I am. Everyone's very conscious of brands, so if I wear one thing that they know isn't as good as another, they'll be like, have you tried Patagonia, or have you tried something with more of a environmental conscience? So just be very careful about what you're buying into, because there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of bad as well.
People know first that I have a vegan food company, and then they look at me through squinted eyes and go, "Are you vegan?" But ultimately, even the head of a vegan food company is an imperfect human who, through work, strays away from the right type of diet and lifestyle. And in our imperfection, we own it, but we're still going to go out there and do good. And I think everyone should feel empowered to do that. Like, you don't have to be a vegan to eat more vegetables. Similarly, I support farming and the farming industry. And how can we make it better so that we don't have to eradicate it? That would be terrible. I hope the alternative route can be a resource for all. A fun education and a story that enlightens and informs in a world of confrontational content. That brings with it a lot of nerves, but nothing a trip home won't solve. One man I know who is an expert on a number of subjects, one in particular is meat. The other is something a little different. British and Irish line, Irish and Leinster rugby star, legend Cian Healy.
How often are you grilling now? In a week?
Not so much because I'm in camp. When I get the opportunity, it'd be twice a day or this, lash it in.
On the cold side?
On the cold side, leave the heat come up, bring it up to temperature, and then replace it onto the hot side.
Am I right in saying that you've massively changed your nutrition in the last 5-10 years?
Yeah, mine is, it's always been changing across the board. Like, I started off rugby not eating meat, very little.
And where were you getting protein from?
Protein shakes.
Yeah, just all whey.
Yeah, fairly quick made, not a problem when I went into Leinster, because I weighed 97 kilos and I was told to go off and buy some steaks, pretty much. Any style potatoes, there's so many different ways I would do them that I'm delighted to have potatoes 7 nights of the week.
Yeah,
because I
classic
can just change
Irish
it up.
man.
Yeah.
Have you heard about mycelium?
Not really.
Mycelium is the root system of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mycelium is basically the next big thing in alternative plant protein or fungi protein, because technically fungi and plants are two different things. Unbelievably healthy, unbelievably high protein, needs next to no energy to grow. So it's being kind of touted as kind of alt meat 3.0.
As a piece you eat or as a
So people are making fillets out of it, people are making burgers out of it. You can use a powder as a replacement for whey. Because it's tasteless, you can basically put anything you want in it, and make it taste whatever. But it's much less expensive than other protein sources. There's a nice match off between what this can do for your diet, but ultimately putting more of this in. Bon appetit.
Right.
Well, what do you think of your own cooking?
Good enough, yeah. It's lovely.
While powering our bodies with animal proteins, we also power the planet with fossil fuels. We need to think outside the box everywhere in order to affect change. I wonder how Ireland could use its resources. I'm so glad Christelle could join. Her love of food and passion for cooking is infectious.
Hello.
Hello!
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see
Good
you.
to see you. I am so excited. So I'm a foodie. I love anything, even remotely relating to food. And so for me, this is a dream project. I get to travel around the world looking at food, looking at how food is grown, and also innovative and sustainable ways of how food is grown. So it's literally the dream project, and I just can't wait to get stuck in.
Come on in.
Oh, can't wait to see the office.
Yeah. Welcome to the root system.
So colourful.
Yeah.
I was actually saying I'm quite scared of spiral staircases.
Be careful with your heels.
Yeah. No, do you know what it is? It's because you never know when the staircase is going to end.
Come on in. I'll show you the mini supermarket and...
You have a supermarket in your...
Yeah, this is where we look at all of
Wow.
the
Oh my God, I love this.
different trends that are going on and some competitor products, and
Cool.
we do some presentations up here sometimes.
I love that coconut milk.
And then this is more your speed in here, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I feel at home.
It's cool, right?
This, yeah. This is where I belong.
Want to cook here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can I actually cook here?
This is your office.
So this is a working kitchen. Oh my gosh, this was... My cookbook isn't in this collection. What's going on, Sam?
I didn't get my copy yet.
Oh, all right. It's probably on its way.
I've always loved being on the road. For adventures on any transport, but particularly cars. So much so that I upcycled my old Land Rover into the longest range electric Defender in the world. The Lear facility in Cork is primarily an education facility for UCC, but they also allow private companies to test their inventions here. Many former students, for example. We're meeting Tony, who helped build it, and Jimmy, who runs it.
They have this really cool, like, wave machine inside where all the students study wind turbines, and
Oh, cool.
where they've built this wave energy barge as well that they're testing in Galway and in Hawaii.
So is this basically like a scientific water park?
I think it's like an aqua park for scientists.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is music to my ears, even though I'm not a scientist.
Rolling down the river. Do, 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 do. We're here. We're here.
here.
We're here.
Woo woo!
Can't wait to come in here now and meet Tony. I've
Yeah.
been hearing a lot about this project for a long
Right.
time.
Christelle, very nice to meet
Sam,
you.
nice to meet
Sam,
you.
Very nice to meet you. as
Thanks
well.
for having us.
No problem. Welcome to the Beaufort building in
Thank you.
University College Cork.
Thank you.
It's the housing of the Lear National Ocean Test Facility.
Okay.
So, this is the place where Ocean Energy do most of their development work.
Cool.
Before going into the real ocean, we look at the simulated ocean here in the lab.
So down at this end of the tank here, we have 16 paddles.
Okay.
And so we can program any types of waves, and what we'll show you are different types of waves that we can generate.
Oh.
That
It
is
almost
very
looks,
cool.
it looks like plastic.
That's just at the start. These ones are very smooth. Each wave has the same height. And then down at the far end there is a beach.
This is incredible.
So we can generate waves over a meter high in this tank.
Really?
Yeah. Waves travel at different speeds. So
Yeah.
short waves travel slower than long waves. So we set the slow waves first and the fast waves after. They all catch up and then they break at a point.
Oh, wow.
So you get offshore, you get freak
incredible.
you hear about freak waves. There's
Yeah.
different waves catching up with each other.
So you can actually settle like a device in here
That's
on
what we
the
do.
floating
We
platforms.
put it here, a wind turbine on a floating platform. We put it here. We run the big waves at it.
Yeah.
We look at how it moves, and sort of there's a
At
limitation
a
to
relative scale to the biggest
about
wave that
1
you
is
can.
to 40 or 1 is to 50 sort of scale.
Amazing. Okay.
You try and prove your concept in this tank first. If that works, then you move into the tank, the bigger tank with the bigger waves, and if it works there, then it moves offshore.
You were saying there's like a splash zone there, so people stand there and they just in the water rides, and they always have that.
I think we should get splashed.
I don't. You could get splashed. I'm standing right back.
So Tony, this looks like a smaller version of what we've just been looking at over there.
Yes, it's a more simplified version just to illustrate the principles of how our wave energy device works, really.
Got it.
Okay.
So it's very, very simplistic. Basically, what we're doing is we're developing a wave energy device called the oscillating water column.
Okay.
So it's a sort of a box which is open at the bottom. You can see there's a slot here which is opened at the bottom.
Right.
So the box floods up to the water level,
Okay.
but there's a trapped air above it.
Yeah.
So as the waves come by, they cause the water inside to go up and down. And that then pushes the air out through the turbine.
That's air. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all through just the power of waves.
Just this water
Just
pumping
natural
the air,
waves.
pumping
Very
the air.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
got it.
fascinating because I always thought that the actual generation of the energy was the actual wave at the surface.
Exactly.
But it's
yeah.
happening underneath.
It's all
the
happening
water.
underneath as well. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's it. Waves happen relatively slowly. every 5, 6, 10 seconds up and down. And so this is only going up and down quite slowly. So if you put a propeller in here, it would go very slowly.
Right.
Okay.
But because you have a big area and a small outlet,
Yeah.
you have like a gearbox.
Yeah.
So you're speeding up the
creating
airflow.
pressure,
Yeah,
pushing
yeah,
it
but
through.
it's the area is much smaller here, so it goes faster.
Sure.
So when it goes faster, it's better for spinning the turbine.
So driving the turbine is creating the energy.
Electricity then for out, yeah.
This is quite simple.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's very simple
hopefully, yeah.
technology.
Yes,
And it just
exactly,
makes sense. It's absolutely fascinating.
But building this big box is very expensive. So what we do in Ocean Energy is we put the box in a barge.
Oh, so that
So
is
this
literally that.
This is the model of this device, if you like.
See, and that's the fan, and that's the bit
here's
under the
fan.
water.
Yeah, they're very simple mooring. You can see there's just mooring down to anchors on the seabed.
Okay.
And this then is just powered in the shipyard. All the machinery is up here, out of the water again. This fan is the same type of turbine. Very simple construction, very easy operation.
So
Not much to go
effective.
wrong, and it's all out of the water.
Well, like what does success look like for the
Well,
project?
there are a number of applications. I mean, we've been focusing on what we call utility scale, which is, replacing a power station.
Okay.
So if you want to maybe replace money point power station, big power station.
Yeah. Which is fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel, yeah. Okay, 2.5 megawatts. You'd need 500 of these machines,
Okay.
roughly.
Right.
Maybe 400 machines. But you could put those in 3 rows off the coast, maybe about 200 meters apart. So you're talking about 20 kilometers of the coastline.
And we've got enough ocean for that.
Yeah, I mean, our Irish coastline is 1,900 kilometers long, so, you could, 20 kilometers of the Clare coast with 3 rows of machines would replace Money Point completely.
Wow.
So we're making potential employment on land,
Absolutely,
an
yeah,
alternative energy source from the sea
Yeah.
to replace a fossil fuel power station. Sounds like a good alternative investment to me.
This simple technology could have a huge impact on Ireland and other coastal areas where electricity is in short supply or very expensive. While it is so expensive to create, the long-term gain seems obvious.
What's the next step now? Do you think this will be the next big energy source in the future? Like, is this going to go global? What's your take on that?
I think it has to, and the time is probably right now. I mean, when I started this 40 years ago, whatever, the time wasn't exactly right because,
Yeah.
Everybody wanted cheap fossil fuels and that was it.
How important is the green, sustainable, environmental impact part of it in your endeavour?
I think it has to be central to it, really, because it's the sustainability thing. You have to be doing something which you think is going to be viable forevermore, almost. And you're creating employment, you're creating industries, and a manufacturing industry for the equipment and so on. You're creating that. And you're not doing any damage to the planet, if you like. I know it's very sort of sometimes a bit corny to say things like
it
that,
makes
but that's what you're doing, really. You're doing something in a very sustainable way.
Well, that's what this project has been about. It's been about how can we look at alternatives to create an alternative route for ourselves and for the generations that come after us. When I think about this type of energy and the application that you explained downstairs and what it would take in terms of 200 of these units to generate the power for a town or a city, it makes me much more hopeful about these alternative energy uses. It's amazing how, with all of the problems for fuel, one of the solutions is just staring us in the face as Irish people all the time.
And it has the power to basically be a source of energy around the whole globe, and I've just never known.
One of the conversations I had with Dr. Johnny was about regenerative farming needing more time to establish itself. More trial and error, more funding, more time to get it wrong.
Yeah.
This seems like, something that's consistent with wave energy and lots of the other solutions that are coming to the fore as potential alternatives.
I think everything we've seen, it's a common thread. They all have the potential to be incredible renewable sources of whether it's energy, harvesting, but it's just about, like you said, kind of getting people's buy-in, more trial and error, and getting funding.
There's something very profound about what Tony was saying about the wind creating the waves, you know, hundreds of miles away in the middle of the Atlantic,
Yeah.
pushing it to, you know, a system of like 200 barges here, being able to power that whole town and other vehicles and all of their energy needs. Seems like something worth investing in.
I went into this knowing I'm not a subject matter expert. I don't know the faintest thing about half of these topics, but I'm here to learn, and I'm very much a student in this whole process. And I think having Sam as a big subject matter expert and meeting even more subject matter experts, he kind of became a bit like a mentor. And through Sam and also the people we've met, I've learned so much, and I've come away from this feeling so empowered, so inspired, and also I have so much respect. I always respected Sam, but so much more respect for him as a person, his ethos, and his passion behind both this project, but also what he does as a business as well.
I really think that ocean energy is a great prospect for powering our planet. But for now, back to fungi. Cian is a good friend, food entrepreneur, and a chef who is one of the most knowledgeable people I've met on plant sustainable consumption, foraging, and mushrooms in particular. I wanted to introduce Cian to Mushroom Mike of The Wild Room, a really interesting character who we've been connected with in London.
Hey,
Hey!
you made it.
Hi, Mike.
Nice
Hi,
to meet
how
you.
you doing?
Hey, Sam.
Good.
I'm Christelle, lovely to meet you.
Mike, welcome.
How you doing?
Welcome.
How you getting on?
This is the Wild Room.
The Wild Room. This is a little selection of what we do. We supply truffles, some of which are wild, and quite a lot now come from plantations, so they're semi-wild. We then do wild mushrooms, exotic mushrooms, and then locally foraged produce.
Gotcha.
Very cool. But is this a mushroom or a seaweed? It looks like a hybrid between the two.
So that's a mushroom. So that's a cauliflower mushroom. The beauty about that, you can boil it, you can roast it, you can cook it any way you want, and
Oh
it
my
just
gosh.
holds its shape. Perilla, one of my favorite restaurants, does a deconstructed carbonara, and it doesn't
Wow.
have pasta on the dish at all.
I'm sure Italians love that.
Cauliflower. It's cauliflower. They tear it into strips,
Oh, very
and
cool.
it's amazing.
You know, it's quite astonishing to see someone actually supplying this, and I imagine you supply restaurants, is that right?
Yeah.
And just, you know, that restaurants in the city can actually avail of something like this or produce like these is incredible.
We go one step further, as you can see, not all the mushrooms grow perfectly like this. So
Yeah.
we have them graded by the pickers, by the picking stations, and then we finish it off here. And that's basically what we're doing is, sounds like a cliche, we're taming the wild. Because, you know, to bring something in from the wild is very rustic, and, you know, and then we try and make it more acceptable for you guys to then use.
There's something deeper going on here than just food. We're talking about something sentient, intelligent, and potentially life-changing depending on its use. An analog extruder is just simply the same way as sausages are made, forced from a tube.
A lot of these analog extruded burgers and bites and sausages and stuff that are out in the market are from unsustainable crops of sources of protein.
Right.
This is completely regenerative, and what we're trying to do is put the substrate of mycelium together so that you can literally take a gram or 5 grams of it, put it into, say, a veggie burger,
And then you
and
get
have an
protein.
equal amount of protein
Yeah.
per gram, and sometimes double that.
So what would make up then the bulk of that, you know, food mass? If you're
Pulses, legumes,
Oh, okay.
potatoes, root vegetables, waste flake from processing other mushrooms.
the reluctance to use and cook mushrooms probably stems from fear as well. You know, kind of a fear and a misconception, a misunderstanding of what mushrooms are, and
Yeah.
perhaps, you know, how potent they are. When I go out, you know, picking wild food or foraging with friends and colleagues, or and I might eat something. A grass is one thing, but if you pick up a mushroom, there's like instant shock and fear on people's faces.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've come out of woods with big baskets of mushrooms and locals go, oh, you're going to eat those toadstools? And it's like, no, they're all deadly. They're all really poisonous. Stay away from them. But no, there is probably a handful of deadly poisonous mushrooms.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anybody watching this, if they want to go out mushroom picking, get a Roger Phillips guidebook, learn the 5 deadly poisonous mushrooms, and do not pick anything similar.
People like Mike are the real deal, and mushrooms are the real deal. I could listen to Mike talking about fungi for days, and I really think this topic is going to become more and more important.
I think with plant-based diet and everything else, there is a market for a wow, this is a proper piece of mushroom. This is going to replace fillet or Dover sole or whatever expensive piece of fish. And it'll be better for you, and it'll be grown sustainably.
Yeah, that's amazing. There's a restaurant in Denmark. It's a high-end burger restaurant, and they inoculate patties made from barley with this spore called koji, and then they fry that, and it just brings like immense flavors of umami.
Amazing.
So you're getting that meat flavor from mycelium.
And it's not just proteins that mushrooms have medical benefits as well. They're packed full of goodness. Hen of the wood, maitake, is a mushroom that in China they eat massive amounts, and they have much lower rate of cancer and things like that. It's anti-cancerous. In China, back in the days of old, you used to pay your doctor while you're well, and you stopped paying them when you got ill. Interesting. Which makes more sense to me. One of the reasons why it worked so well is that they made sure they ate exotic mushrooms, because that's how to maintain your health. All life exists on this planet because of fungi.
Wow.
After every mass extinction, the first thing to come back is fungi. And there is some trains of thought that fungi created animals to spread its spores.
Wow.
It's how far you want to go back in your mind and all that.
All the way.
But start off in the woods where mushrooms started. The role of mushrooms is it connects every living species in that wood together, so they can communicate to each other, so they can support each other. If one part of the wood is short on certain nutrients, they will transfer it across.
And that's what we call mycelium.
That's the mycelium, which is the plant of mushrooms. These are the fruiting bodies of the mushroom. The mycelium is the plant.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you've got a blackberry bush, the mycelium is all the spiky bits and the leaves, and the fruit is the blackberry.
Yeah.
Everyone watching this show eventually is going to be thinking, when are they going to start talking about magic mushrooms? And I have heard the term microdosing in the US more often than not now in general conversation, and people, using it for things like anxiety. What are your thoughts on the effects and the possibilities?
It's a game changer. If you go back to the role of mushrooms is to support nature. We are a very important part of nature, and I believe, and this is where it gets a bit kooky, that as we've separated from nature, there's been a disconnect, and that the role of mushrooms is trying to get us back in harmony with nature.
I'm quite blown away.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to do some?
No, please, off camera.
In this episode, we set out to find 2 types of power, one for our body and one for the planet. I think these 2 types of power, both wave energy and fungi, do just that.
Smashed it, mate.
What did you think?
So cool. I kind of have goosebumps because you're reminded of the overall purpose and actually what people are doing for the greater environment. And it's fascinating, and actually these people are so powerful, it could quite literally impact the world we live in. I'm never speechless because I can't physically stop talking, but I'm as close to speechless as I can get.